Hello, everyone, and welcome to your first day of Comms 100. I am your professor, Dr. Danielle Johnson. I will be navigating you through this course. I know this is not the way we intended to meet, but we are going to do the best we can to make it through and figure out how to complete this comms class together. I am not very tech savvy. I'm learning to be more tech savvy with this whole readjustment, but I'll be doing my best and I will try to aid you in all doing your best as well. And if you have any suggestions about things I could be doing different or ways I could be doing things better, please just reach out and let me know and we can explore that together. So today I just want to give a little introduction to the course and talk about what we're going to be doing and what you should be focused on and paying attention to as far as deadlines go. I'm assuming if you are looking at this, you have all accessed Blackboard. If you haven't done it before, you've learned very quickly over this last week how to do that. So Blackboard is going to be where we'll conduct most of our stuff. As we move forward, we might explore connecting via like Google Voice or that type of thing, but that will be on an individual basis. So my plan is to upload lectures for you and announcement updates for you. Basically every day that we would have class. Sometimes I might do it early just to give you a little bit more time to work on whatever it is that we're working on at the time. And so please just be checking in regularly and paying attention to that. Okay, so this course will be completely online, not in the classroom as previously mentioned. And I will be available via email. The department number is on the syllabus. And if you look over on the side here on Blackboard, there is a thing for the syllabus is posted there. The number goes to the office at the school though, and right now, at least for the next week, nobody is at the school, so I don't think there's any way to get responses that way. So email is the way to interact with me. And office hours, like I said, as we move forward, we'll kind of play it by ear and discuss how it goes. We might have kind of a Google chat hangout place where we can talk together about different speeches. So I have a dog and she's going to whine like that sometimes while I'm talking. So don't be alarmed. But I think the easiest way to do it will just be to, if you have a specific question, let's try to work it out through email. If that doesn't work and we need some more face-to-face interaction, let's set up a time to talk about it, either via the phone or some sort of chatting conference type thing. Okay, so the course materials, this is the textbook. It's called Communication in You. It is available in the bookstores. It's available online. I know it's hard. I don't think Amazon is a little far behind right now, so I'm not sure what the availability of getting books through Amazon is. You will not be using the media part of it. So it comes with a code where you can, I forgot what it's called, but where you can go on to Learning Curve. We will not be using Learning Curve for this class. So if you have a copy that you got used or from a friend or whatever, that the code is expired or it doesn't have the code, that's completely fine. But you will need to have the book and read the book, obviously. Okay, so a lot of the requirements for the course have been altered. So for example, one of the main requirements, this is a big portion of this class revolves around public speaking. Typically, this course would need to be, all your speeches would need to be presented in front of a group of 6 or more people, but those state requirements have been laxed by the state for this unique circumstance. The other thing is group projects. I looked into ways to doing the group projects, and I think had we had been meeting for the whole semester, that might have worked out. But in this time with people stressed and I just think I just have alleviated the group part of the course for this course. So we are going to be spending time learning how to do speeches, getting you prepared to give your speeches, and then going over the chapters in the different courses. And so to that end, basically, you'll have two different types of assignments. So the main thing that you'll be graded on this class is the speeches. The speeches will be totaling about 70% of your grade. You're going to be doing 4 speeches in this class. And so you'll be uploading a speech about every other week. There's a little bit of difference there because we only have 7 weeks, but about every other week or so, you'll be uploading a speech. Basically, how you will do that, and we'll give more information as we go along, but what I'm doing right now is I'm recording my speech through my webcam. You could easily do it through your phone too. And then I created, through my Wabansi account, everybody has a YouTube account associated to their Wabansi account. So I am just uploading these to YouTube and then sending you the link. And for those of you who that freaks out a little bit, you can add something to YouTube and make it hidden to the rest of the world. So it's not out there. If you don't want it to be, you can publish your speeches and have everybody watch them. But if you don't want your speeches to be available for the whole YouTube universe to watch, I think it's even the default is it clicks to like private link or whatever. And so basically it will be on YouTube, but only the people who you share the link with will be able to view your speech. So that's, I think, the easiest way to do it. There is also, and I'll be including instructions when next class we'll be talking about the speech. So I'll be including instructions on how to upload it. There's also a way to upload it directly to Blackboard, but I found this YouTube way to be pretty simple. So basically what you'll do is you will write your speech. You will, for each of the speeches, I'm going to have you send me a rough draft of your introduction or your completed outline if you want more feedback. So I can give you some feedback to make sure you're on the right track, make sure, you know, any troubleshooting that we can do at that time, any questions that you have at that time, we can go through there. And then you will record your video at home. And again, webcam works, or you can use your cell phone. I would prefer when you're giving your formal speeches, I'm sitting down at my desk right now, but it would be better if when you gave your speeches, you were standing up. So I would be able to assess different things like gestures and that type of thing a little bit easier. But again, we're going to be flexible and do what we can for this. So, but the ideal thing would be that you're standing up either at a counter, or if you have a podium at home, or a music stand, or but it can just be wherever you see fit. So you'll record your speeches, you'll submit them with your typed outline, and then you will, and then I will give you feedback based on your video recording. So that's going to be the main thing. There'll be 4 speeches. So the first one is a self-introductory speech. So you'll be telling us a little bit about yourself. The second one will be a how-to speech where you demonstrate how to do something. The third one will be an informative speech where basically you can just pick any topic and inform us about that topic. Just give us information about that topic. And then the fourth and final speech will be a persuasive speech where you have to persuade the audience or me on a certain point of view, one way or the other. Okay, so that's the main thing. And as I mentioned, part of that will be turning in an intro for every speech. So before every speech, you'll see on the syllabus, there's a due date for the date that the rough draft of your intro is due. For most of these assignments now, the due date is the absolute latest that you can submit the stuff. But feel free to, if you are somebody who likes to do stuff ahead of time. With the speeches, it's going to be a little trickier because I'm going to give you the information. So like for the self-intro speech, I have the rubric for the self-intro speech on, it's under the speech folder. Actually, it'll be on this, I don't know which way this is going to fold, but it'll be on the, when you're looking at your screen, it'll be on the left side, there's a speeches folder. The rubric for the self-intro speech is up there already, but the video that I upload on Wednesday and I might actually do it tomorrow, just again, so people can get a jump on things and be thinking about things a little bit earlier. The rubric has information, but I'll also be talking about the speech. So you might want to hold off on actually completing your speech, obviously, until you have that lesson on Wednesday. Same thing with things like the quiz. The stuff that I'm going to talk about on Wednesday in our chat lecture is going to be on the quiz for chapters 1 and 2. So I would hold off, and I'm actually not even going to release the quiz for chapters 1 and 2 until after that lecture. But there's a few of the quizzes, like the quiz for chapters 3 through 5, or 6 and 7 actually, that won't have speech stuff on them. And so I'll release those whenever they're available. And so you can just go in and take those. If you're somebody who likes to get things done ahead of time, you can go in and take those whenever you want. Same thing with your intros. If you have your intro done Wednesday night or Thursday, the intro is going to be due Friday. If you have that done early, send it to me whenever you want. I will be continuously checking my email throughout the days, probably 2-3 times a day to offer feedback about that type of stuff. Okay, so you'll have your speeches, you'll have your quizzes, or you'll have your intros, and then the final thing will be the quizzes. And so there will be 5 quizzes throughout the semester. Instead of like a midterm and a final, I do quizzes throughout the semester, smaller stuff on different chapters. So you'll have 5 quizzes throughout the semester. The first one will be due, you'll have to complete it by Monday. That will be chapters 1 and 2, and the stuff that we talk about on Wednesday about the speech will be some short answer type questions. So the quizzes are true, false, multiple choice, or short answer. Most of the short answer stuff is stuff that we've talked about, that I've talked about in the lecture portion of the class. So, and then the true, false, multiple choice are pretty much straight from the book. You are allowed to use your books or any notes that you take on those quizzes. However, the quizzes are timed. So it's a good idea that you've gone through and read the chapters and taken some notes and have an idea about that, because you probably won't have time to look up every answer right away while you're taking the quiz and be able to finish the quiz in time. So you should have read the chapters going into the quiz, taken some notes, but feel free to go back to those and use them as a guide when you're taking the quizzes. Okay, so speeches, intros, quizzes. Your speeches, the presentation part of your speeches, including the outline and stuff, the thing that you upload to me, will all be part of the 70% of your grade, and then the other 30% of your grade will be the rough draft of the intros that you turn in, and also the quizzes. I was going to include some papers, and there still might be that, so I usually include having people watch some TED Talks and do some papers. But as I was putting together this shortened, the 8 weeks is already shortened, now we're down to 7 weeks, and I'm allowing for people to be able to use technology and that type of stuff. It seemed like a lot. And so I don't want this to be too overwhelming where you feel like you need to drop the class or that type of thing. But I do reserve the right to add in, I think maybe like a discussion board or that type of thing as we go throughout. So there's some sort of additional written portion in the class. That said, also, I've created a discussion board, and I'll send a link to it in one of these announcements. So the idea with the discussion board, so the one that I've created right now is just for general, of course, questions. And the idea here is that if you have a question and it's appropriate to kind of ask out loud in front of the whole class, that might be the best way to do it. That way, if anybody else has questions, they can kind of go through and see what questions have already been asked and answered. So I'm not having to ask the same questions over and over again. Another thing that I might do is if I get a bunch of people asking the same question, I might address that through here instead. So be on the lookout for that. And as far as that goes, I have a lot of policies on my original syllabus, but no texting in class. Well, okay. There's not really absences or latenesses or that type of thing. So a lot of these policies don't apply. The one thing I will say is I'm pretty strict in general about makeup work and late work and speeches and that type of stuff. And I'm going to stay pretty true to that. But I do know that people are learning new skills right now. They're learning how to upload things. They're trying new things. And so just be in communication with me. And if there is an issue or if something happens, we can work that out. We can figure out how to make this work. So I want this to be as painless for everybody as possible, while still hoping that you learn something about communication and learn something about how to give a speech, because and I can't stress this enough. And if you don't get enough out of this class because of the way, usually this is a very interactive class and we're working in groups and we're listening, and we're doing exercises that increase your communication skills. If I could say anything about this class, is just how important communication is, and how many mistakes and conflicts happen in our relationships, in our group communications, just because we're not great at communicating with each other. And so it's really a passion of mine to become better at communicating and to teach others to be better at communicating, because I just think it's so important. And I think you can just have a better life if you learn how to communicate better. Like if you learn how to talk to each other in ways that aren't defensive, or in ways where everybody can win. If you can learn how to listen to other people better, you're just going to have a more fulfilling and richer life, and you're going to have better relationships, and that's all there is to it. And then as far as the public speaking goes, I know some of you are probably pretty scared about public speaking. And usually on the first day of class, I kind of poll the audience and say, well, how many people are here just because you love to speak in public? And rarely do I get anybody to say yes to that question. So I know that most of you are taking this class because it's a requirement, and some of you might be scared to death of public speaking. I've seen all varieties of scaredness throughout my years of teaching this class. And all I can say to you is it gets better. The way to get better at public speaking is to keep public speaking. You are kind of at an advantage here this time because you won't be in front of an audience. So that might be better for some of you. I can say it's kind of weird right now watching myself say this in real time. I've watched myself retrospectively give speeches before, but when you have to watch yourself while you're saying it, that's kind of weird. So that might be the pro or con of a webcam, is you can see yourself the whole time, versus if you're doing it by a phone, you won't be able to watch yourself till after. Just a tip there. But public speaking comes in handy more often than you think. And if you can master the skills of public speaking, that as well is going to enhance your life, and it's going to let you do things that maybe you wouldn't be able to do if you weren't a good public speaker. And lots of people are out there giving speeches, but there's not a lot of people out there giving good speeches. And so if you can become a good public speaker, somebody who engages your audience and who talks about things in a way that, one, makes your audience want to listen, but also gives your audience, lets your audience walk away with a better understanding of whatever it is you're talking about, there are so many things that you can do with that skill. So I just encourage you to get as much as you can out of this class, and to try to find a passion for learning how to communicate better in all your areas, because I just think it will make your life better. So that's all I have, I think, for the first day and for our first welcome here. What I would suggest is, for the next time we meet, what I'd like you to do, your assignment, is to write a list of, and this shouldn't take you more than 5 or 10 minutes. On the top of a piece of paper, write the words "I am," or you can type it however that's easier. "I am," and just kind of brainstorm. Like if you had to describe yourself to somebody, if somebody came to you and said, "Who are you? Tell me about yourself. What are you?" Just list 20 to 25 "I am" statements. I am, and this can be stuff like related to activities that you're involved with or positions that you hold. So I am a Jewel Osco employee, or I am a sci-fi club member or whatever that type of thing is. This could be related to relationships you have. I'm a mother, I'm a sister. This could be personality traits. I'm a perfectionist. I am a workaholic, those types of things. So just think about all the things that make up you and who you are, and try to come up with a list of 20 to 25 I am statements for the next time that we meet. I hope that everybody is staying safe and doing well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or post them onto the discussion board, either way. And let's do our best to figure this out together and make it through the semester. Okay, so this is Dr. Danielle Johnson signing off, and I will see you next time. Thanks.